Hello and welcome back once again to Movie Reviews. Just got out of seeing X-Men Days of Futures Past. Pretty good movie. Lots and lots of story in it. Another one of these 2.5 hour almost movies where they're just trying to pack so much story into such a small area, and really they could space it out over a couple of movies and it probably would have been just as good, if not better. But yeah, overall wasn't bad. So we start out, obviously, in the future. If you're familiar with the Days of Future Past comic or the 94 television animated series, you kind of know what's going on. You get introduced to Bishop and the other mutant rebels. And then Professor X and Magneto show up, and they're talking to the rebels, and they're like, we're going to use this thing you've been doing with Bishop, which is sending him back in time to alert them of Sentinel attacks so they can avoid the Sentinel attacks and survive. They're like, well, we're going to try to send someone back to when all this started, which is something they did in the animated series as well. Bishop went back to stop an assassination, and that's kind of what was going on here. Except Bishop's not able to travel back that far, so Wolverine goes, because his mind can heal itself. Basically, the ability to push their mind into an earlier time would rip their mind apart if it's more than like a month. So Wolverine says, well, my mind can heal itself, I'll go. So then he has to go find Professor X, who's like given up on his whole life. Basically, he's kind of become an alcoholic. He finds him. He's trying to snap him out of his funk and get him back on track. He goes and frees Magneto, and they kind of come together, and they're trying to stop the assassination, and then Magneto kind of goes off on his own, as usual, because he's Magneto. And so yeah, it all kind of just boils to a head, and it's, just this whole Xavier versus Magneto thing again. But there's a lot of story going on in it. I'm just giving you the basics of what's going on. Overall, it's a pretty good watch. This one I actually didn't mind the exposition dump because it's vital to the story, where others are just kind of telling you, oh, like back when this happened, and this one's actually, you're following the story as it's dumping the exposition. So it works out a little bit better than what some of the other movies have done. Again, they probably could have spaced it out into like a 2-part movie and put a lot more into it and made both films better. But overall, cramming a bunch of crap into a 2.5 hour movie, they did what they could with it. So yeah, if you follow the comic, or it's been a while since I read that particular comic, so I don't really remember how close this is to the movie adaptation. But the going off the 94 series, the animated series, it's semi on par with that. So yeah, if you know what happened there, then you kind of know what happens here. The ending was a little bit of a throw off because, it's basically bridging the worlds that were created in the original X-Men trilogy and the Wolverine films with X-Men First Class, which obviously changed a lot of stuff, and they're like, well, this is the movie that's supposed to bridge everything together. And you keep waiting for the bridge to happen, like, when is this going to happen, when's this going to happen, and a lot of it never happens. At the end, everything's kind of resolved, and all these things are back in place, but it doesn't really explain what changed to prevent certain things from happening. Spoilers. So if you don't want to know the spoiler, skip over for a couple minutes. Jean and Scott are both back alive. We kind of know how Professor X came back to begin with, but he's back kind of negating, like, whatever else happened. So yeah, it doesn't really explain, like, how all that happened or anything. And that's basically the end of the movie. I said a lot more goes on in this than what I'm telling you, so definitely check it out if you've liked any of the X-Men films up to this point. This is on par with all the rest. I'm not going to say it's better than the others. I'm not going to say it's worse than the others, because I've liked parts of each one. I haven't really thought any of them were bad. Yeah, certain ones were slightly better than other ones, but I haven't found anything really wrong with any of them. Like, a lot of people hated the second one, then everyone liked the second one but hated the third one. I liked the original three for what they were. I liked Origins despite its flaws. The Wolverine, the more recent Wolverine film, I could have done without. It wasn't really necessary, but it wasn't bad. First Class was probably the one I had the most issues with, but this kind of explains why they went that way, so I'm kind of okay with that in a sense. But yeah, so I forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, so so this one to me is on par with the rest. A lot of people are saying it's really good, and then when the next one comes out and something changes, then everyone's going to say this one was garbage and the new one's the best, just like they always do. So if you liked any of the X-Men films, check it out. It's continuing the story, confusing the story a little bit more, but definitely continuing it. And of course, after the credits, there was sequel bait. I'm not really sure who the character was. It's been a while since I followed comics, and I'm not real familiar with this particular character. After all the credits roll, again, spoiler, so if you want to wait and watch it for yourself, watch it. It cuts to the desert. I'm assuming it's Egypt, and there's all these people worshiping someone standing on a mountain, or top of a sand dune, I should say. And as we're panning over top of these people, we see the pyramids being built. So it's someone who has control over sand, I guess, kind of similar to Magneto's power, but over dirt and sand, because all these blocks are flying through the air and constructing the pyramids in large chunks. It pans around and shows the face, but again, I'm not familiar with this particular character, so don't ask me who it is. If any of you know, it's an Egyptian person that wears an Egyptian robe, real pale white skin, and can control sand, I guess, and is worshipped by a bunch of people. So that's building up to whatever's coming up next. As I was walking out of the theater, this girl that was leaving in front of me, she goes, "That wasn't enough. I need more sneak preview of what's going to happen next." She goes, I didn't understand that at all." And I kind of laughed because I was in the same boat. It interests me to see what it is, but again, at the same time, I'll probably go home and look up who the character was, and then I'll realize that I actually know who it was or something. And yeah, so not sure where the storyline's going next, but it's going somewhere. As far as the star rating, let's go with 3.5. It's not really quite a middle of the road movie. There is a lot going on in this film, so you really got to be paying attention to a lot of stuff. But overall, as far as like the overall, does it keep my attention? Yes. Did I want more out of it? Yes. So sort of middle of the road, but not quite, but not really good enough for me to label it as a 4 like I do with some of the other films that I really, really liked. So we're going to go with a 3.5 on this one. So yeah, that's my review of X-Men Days of Future Past. I originally thought I was getting out of it at 9 o'clock, and there was going to be a showing of Neighbors at 9:30. Turns out I got out of there at 9:30. Next showing of Neighbors isn't until 10:30, so I might go see that since it's still $5 Tuesday. Or I might go home and get something to eat and go do laundry, because I still need to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to begin to do laundry kind of late tonight. So there may be another review following this one. Actually, you probably won't see it for a couple days, because I'm trying to space my reviews out over a couple days now. So yeah, there may be that one coming up. Next Tuesday, the only other thing that I really want to see in theaters is Maleficent. and since I'm having to pay for the movies now, I'm kind of more picky about what I go to see. I'm not going to pay for something that I have no interest in seeing, where back when I was getting them for free because I worked at the theater before, I didn't mind. I'd go see everything I wanted to see, and then once I'd seen everything, I'd go start seeing stuff I really had no interest in seeing just because it was free. Now I have to pay for it again, so I'm going to be a little bit more picky on what I go see. But Maleficent looks interesting. Got a few thoughts on that one, so I'm going to see if I'm accurate or not. So that'll be next Tuesday. If anything else comes out next Tuesday, I might do another double movie night if I do one tonight. Other than that, that'll be the next review after, depending on if I go see Neighbors tonight or not. Other than that, I don't know what else is coming out anytime soon, so yeah, not sure what'll be after that one. Anyway, that's it for this episode, just kind of rambling now. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of Movie Reviews.